Hello, today we are going to look at the limit involving infinity. All right, so when you have a limit which involves infinity, how do we resolve it, or how do we go by it? Now we have limit of a function f of x as x approaches infinity or x becomes very large is denoted as limit of f of x as x approaches what? This symbol, which is what? The infinity symbol. So when you see this symbol anywhere in mathematics, it means whatever that you are working with is infinity. It means you don't know the end of that particular thing. Now the limit involving infinity also has its own rules that you have to follow when you are dealing with what? Limit involving what? Infinity. And the first rule is that when you have a limit of 1 over x to the power n, whilst x is approaching what? Infinity, the solution that you should be getting should be 0. That is only if n is positive. Okay, if n is what? Positive. Take note. So if you are dealing with something like this and it is x is approaching infinity and then n is a power of x and and x is approaching what? Infinity, the answer that you'll be getting should be what? 0. It should be 0 if and only if n is what? A positive value. An example is if you have a limit of 1 over 4 to the power x and x is approaching what? Infinity. When you put the infinity value here, you should be getting what? 0. That is the example. Now the second one is if you have a limit of x to the power x and then x is approaching what? Infinity. This expression at all does not exist if the index, which is the n, is positive. Okay, so if you have an expression like this, which is x is approaching infinity and then the power n is positive number, then that particular expression doesn't exist. It will give you what? Undefined. When you point into the calculator or anything, you won't get an answer for it. That's what it means. Now the third one is if f of x is equal to two different functions dividing each other or dividing one another, we have what? G of x dividing what? H of x. Then the limit of f of x can be found by x which approaches what? Infinity. And then the catch here is if this you solve it and then you cannot get the solution for that particular expression, which is this two. All right, if you can't find the solution, then what you have to do is to divide both the numerator and then the denominator by the highest degree of x involved in the expression. Okay, so if the highest degree of x is x to the power 3, then you have to divide the whole of the expression by the highest degree of x, which is what? The x power. All right, now we are going to look at a very quick example. Now we have a very simple example on the board. Okay, so per the third rule, which involves the limit involving infinity, when you look at it, what you have to do is to divide the whole of the expression by the highest power of x, by the highest power in the, or by the x with the highest degree. In this case, we have what? 2 as the highest. Okay, x to the power what? Square. So we will have to divide both the numerator and the denominator by that highest power of x. So here we have 3x squared over x squared minus 1 over what? X squared, all over 2x squared over x squared minus or plus 1 over what? X squared. Okay, so now you close the bracket as x approaches what? Infinity. Okay, so now the simple or the expression becomes what? This x squared will cancel this x squared and here we'll be left with what? 3. All right, minus 1 over x squared. Okay, the bracket should be there. Okay, here too, this x squared will cancel this x squared and it will be left with all over what? 2. All over 2 plus 1 over x squared. Okay, so here when you put 0 in the function, it means you'll be having what? This particular function will be defined. Okay, or you have a solution to it. So when you put the values in there, you have 3 minus 1 over the infinity is 0 squared. Okay, over, then we have here 2 plus 1 over the same 0 squared. Okay, so this will be equal to 3 minus 0 over 2 plus 0, which will be giving you 3 over 2, and this will be the solution for this simple example. I will urge you to go and look for more examples under this, and then under the previous limits, the standard limits, and then solve for your own understanding to further and then better your understanding.